Yeah, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's class. And today, in follow up to CSS, we'll be looking at something called responsiveness. And what is responsiveness? Responsiveness is simply that you make your screens, your website accessible by all web browser, either by all devices. Let me use the word devices, either by a phone, by a laptop, a mini laptop, a large laptop, a desktop screen, and an extremely wide screen. External monitors that are extremely wide, that are different from a desktop computer and a laptop computer, which is something that you would, as a developer, as a front-end developer, you can't run away from responsiveness, because everything you are going to do would you have to be responsive. Not everybody would have to sit in front of their system to always access your website. Someone like me, I prefer just going to your website on my phone and checking what I'm, except I am right seated on my seat. That's like, okay. Instead of going through my phone, I just check on my laptop. But according to research, 65 to 75% of everybody in the world, what they do is they access a website on their phone. Like, it's just your go-to thing. Your website, your phone is always with you before you try to switch on your laptop. Your laptop boots if you are using a Windows system, which is not very fast in booting. You have to wait for like 10-20 minutes or 5 minutes thereabout, depending on your system speed, before your system comes up and try to navigate to the website. But on your phone is always on. You just go to your browser and you access it. So if your website is not responsive, it's going to give a bad user experience. So this is the project we will be working on today. This particular project is what we'll be using to build our responsiveness. This is the particular project we'll be using to build our responsiveness. So let me show you how it is on. This is I have just what I have here is just a plain code of just HTML and CSS without it being responsive. So I will toggle my screen. I will open my developer console for you to see it. You can see how this website looks. You can see how this website looks. If you want to access this website on a phone now, you will be frustrated, because who does this kind of thing? Why would you as a developer give me this kind of thing to access? Is not is very very bad. No one would no one would do this. Anyone that comes to this website at first and sees something like this, that's the end of coming to your website. I can tell you categorically, well, because I come to your website at first and I'm seeing something like this. What else do you want me to come and see? So it's very important as a front-end developer that when you are styling your once you are once you are building a website, you have it at the back of it. Okay, I'm going to work with responsiveness, and that's where your unit comes in. That's where you have relative units and absolute units. Relative units includes your rem, your em, and percentage, while your absolute units are pixel. It's not If you want to work with responsiveness, it's not actually advisable that you use pixel. Pixel is good, but it's always rigid. It's not really flexible. So at every point you would have to be changing things over and over again. But with rem or em, which are relative units, is something that, okay, you would just do. You would not really you is relative to your screen. Is relative to your screen size. So at every point where you are trying to reduce your screen, it's trying to adapt. But pixel, if you're using a pixel is so fixed that, okay, it will be taking the particular width even if it's on a mobile screen. So that's one thing about pixel and rem. So you have to be if you want to work with responsiveness, you have to make use of relative units. So in practice, the meaning of responsive design is making your website usable on all devices. I've said that, and also where you are going to be writing your responsiveness is in your CSS. So let's check out what we have on this particular on the demo we are prototyping. I also know that this is not particularly responsive, but we can use it as a working design to figure some things out. Yeah, so at this point, there are some of the things we are going to fix right here includes the text and the margin. So these are some of the things we are going to fix. So as we go on, you can see that this particular session is is responsive and you can have it across board. So now let's go into responsive design. What do you do when you want to um, when you want to when you want to make responsive design? Some of the things you have to consider is a fluid layout. What is a fluid layout? A fluid layout includes adapting your website to the current width, to the current viewport, or even height of your screen of your current device, using percentage such as using percentages or view age, or that's view height or view width. There are also measurement units in CSS, or instead of using pixel for the element. That's when I said pixel are very rigid, so you can't easily bend them. It's just like, okay, you have a pipe now. A pipe is, I'm just using for illustration. A pipe is a a pipe is a pixel. For you to be able to bend a pipe, it's either you break that pipe. So that is what a pixel does. But all this flexible pipe, all this rubber pipe, that's I will use that as relative. You can always squeeze them and they don't necessarily have to break. That is one thing about fluid layout, using max width instead of using ordinary width. Another thing you have to put into consideration when you are trying to build your responsive design is using responsive units. I've made mention of that. Using rem instead of pixel for most of the length to make your scale, to make it easy when scaling down across your website, because you are building from the top. You are building from your desktop screen to your laptop, to your tablet screen, to your mobile device, from your mobile device to some smaller device again. So that is what that's where responsive unit comes in. And an helpful trick is just using one rem to one pixel for easy calculation. That means just have it at the back of your mind that if you are using one rem, it's equals to 10 pixel. So it's going to scale even on different screen size. Are you following? Please, if you have any question, just it should not be a monologue. It should be a dialogue. So at any point, just raise up your hand and drop it in the chat box. I will always respond. So another thing you have to consider when you want to make responsive design is flexible images. By default, images does not scale automatically. So as you change the width, the viewport, so you have to fix them. So now probably now you made your picture 260 pixel. By the time it comes to a smaller screen, you have to reduce the size of that image so that it's going to fit into the screen size that you have at every point. So it's also useful that you use percentages for image dimension rather than using together with max width. And yeah, Damilala, you have a question. Go ahead and speak. I'll make it snappy.
So when you're talking about responsiveness and you're like reducing the image, so I just want to ask, reducing the image, will it tamper with the quality? You know that there are some images that once you reduce them, it will like it will tamper the
Yeah,
quality. So that's
that
what I
is
just want to
that,
ask.
that's why you have to download a very good quality image. So by the time you reduce the size of the image, that was when Ike is in the last class. When we were looking at Figma, he told us to download. He gave us an insight into downloading images at 4K. So if you download an image at 4K, even if you reduce the size, it will still give you a good quality than you downloading it at probably 3K, which even by the time you reduce the size, it becomes as if it is grayed out or blurry. So it's better you have a very good quality image. So by the time you are scaling it down, it doesn't lose the actual quality of the image. Damblala, do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So another thing for responsive design is media query. which is being responsive to all sides. And one thing you have to look at is setting your viewport width. That's the breakpoint for every website. There are ways of you setting breakpoint for your website, which includes you can use 300 pixel, you can use depending on, and here are some standard. If you go to your Google developer tool, here are some standard screen sizes. Here are some standard screen sizes. You can see for a mobile device, it is 320 pixel. You can see that's for medium mobile phone. You can, if you go to a quite another bigger device is 375 pixel. Another device is mobile phone large. Another one is 425 pixel. Then you go to a tablet. A tablet is 778 pixel. Then you go to a laptop, which is 128 124 pixel. Then you go to a larger laptop, which is this. So at every point, you just set the width. The width. The responsiveness is all about the width of your design, not the height. The height can come into play, but it's the width that you have to focus more on. And there are two kind of approaches when developing a website. You can either use a desktop first approach. It simply means that you are building first of all for your laptop screen, which is what most of us do most of the time, because you're using a laptop. So you just build for your laptop screen. Then when you're done with building for your laptop screen, you now go back. You now start going downwards in the screen sizes. So that's the difference between mobile first, and it's also a good practice to go mobile first, but uh, generally people just use what's the name? People just go for desktop first because that is what you are building with. That's what you are viewing your device, your product, your project on. Firstly, something you should also there are some CSS framework that their approach is mobile first, i.e. Tailwind CSS and the like, which is something we are still going to go in subsequent lectures. So for a smaller device, I have mentioned that you will just you start building from smaller screens to large screen. So is there any question with my explanation about responsive design before we go into our code? Yeah, Damlola, go ahead.
I just want to ask, so like the ones I see majorly or the ones I hear from people is when you build from the web to the mobile. So which one do you feel is better? Is it from the mobile to the web or the web to the mobile?
Well, it's just based on your own personal preference. There's no approach that there's no law that says you have to build from mobile to laptop. The reason why most people just go through that convention of building from laptop to a mobile phone is because you're not writing your code on a mobile phone, you're writing it on your system. So it's just a normal intuition that okay, let me just build for my mobile for my desktop screen first, and I now go back to smaller devices. Do you understand that, Dami?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Josephine, go ahead.
Yeah. Morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. So if you want to do media, because I noticed that if you're building projects with maybe you are looking at a task in front end methods, you will see that they will give you two screens. They will give you maybe the mobile and the desktop. So are you saying that if I'm
Yeah.
doing media query, I'm going to build for each of the of the each of the screens?
Screen
After I've
size.
built for desktop, I'll go and build for tab. I'll write media queries for all the screens that you have showed us. Is that what I'm going to do for every project?
Yes, that's what responsiveness means. That's okay.
Okay.
Once you see it on, and something you should know about responsive design is that if you are viewing some things on a desktop screen, some of the information on that screen, by the time you get to a mobile device, it goes away. They are now hidden. So you just have to make your design fit into a mobile screen. That is either a phone or a tablet. You know, a tablet is more wider. The width of a tablet is wider than a normal phone, and the width of a laptop is also wider than a tablet. Also, in laptop, there are different screen sizes. The size of a Windows system, the screen size of a Windows system, I think is 144 pixel, while the screen of a Mac, which is a little bit smaller, is 135 pixel. So those are some of the things you have to consider. So don't worry, I'll give you. You don't have to start declaring your CSS from, okay, now the mobile version. For you can see when I open the Google Developer tool, the screen size there was 325 pixel. Yeah, that's for one mobile screen. And there's another mobile screen of 375 pixel. So it's not a good practice that you now start selecting, okay, at max width of 320 pixel, I want this size. So you can just do like a a generic maximum width. Okay, if it's from 0 to 500 pixel, this is the size I want, so that it's adaptable, it's fluid. Okay, from 320 pixel to 500 pixel, these are the styles I want to happen on this particular element. So don't worry, we are going to write the code and you see how you are going to build for it. Yeah, yeah. Josephine, do you understand?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Sirat, go ahead.
Yes, sir. I want to ask that you said we can build from mobile to screen. So I want
Yeah,
to ask that if we are starting from mobile and we are using our system, the system is like screen too. It's a screen.
yeah.
So what are we going to do? Is there a way that it will be in mobile without us doing media query?
There's no how you are going to do it that is not going to be in mobile without media query. Actually, it has to be in
Okay.
media query, because it's media query that is actually targeting that screen size. Do you understand? Yes, right.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
right. All right.
Yes.
So another thing that is much easier for you to use if you are working with if you want to build responsive design is making use of flex or grid. Is something I made mention that, okay, it's actually easy to make responsive design using flex instead of you um trying to switch everything with margin and padding. If you are using flex, the automatic direction of flex is flex row. Then if you want to bring it's flex row, then you want to bring it together, you want to change the direction on the smaller screen, just change it to flex column, and the direction changes. So those are some of the things we'll be looking at in the responsive design. Are you clear, Yesirat, and any other one that has a question?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's go ahead. So now, some of the things you have to look out for when you're targeting your screen sizes is, there's good practice and there's bad practice. If you do something like this is how you write your media query. One thing about media query is that, please confirm you can see my VS Code. Please, can you all see my VS Code? Is it visible enough?
Yes, we can.
Visible.
Okay. All right. Hope it's not too thin. Should I increase the font size?
Please
Please
increase
do,
it.
please do, please do.
Okay. All right. So, this too much. Yeah, I think this is perfect. Yeah, so you can see now I have written this code for what we have. This is for my desktop view. This is for my desktop view, and we all understand what is being done here perfectly well. We have all these styles written inside for everything we have on the screen. And you can see I am making use of flex, I am making use of grid, I am making use of rem to make my work flexible enough. So to target your screen sizes, you have to start from the next available width. So now something we are going to be actually targeting here is the the width of 700, and that is the tablet screen, because you know that this first screen we have up here is a laptop screen, and the next screen that goes after a laptop screen is what? A tablet screen. So this is how you target your media query. You do something like this media media, you do something, you now do a max width, dash width, and you define the view width, the width you want to target, which is the next width on the screen is 768 pixel. So this is it. I am targeting my design at 768 pixel. So if it's on a tablet screen now, this is what is going to happen. One thing you
Okay.
should also notice that, does anyone have any question? One thing you should also notice that you have to align your code from the large screen to the medium screen to a smaller screen. You can't put a smaller screen in between and now go to your large screen below it, because excuse me, you can't put your smaller screen in between a large screen and expect it to work that way, because most times your code is read synchronously, is read line by line. That is why is a good practice that your you put the next screen size that you want to target, you put it directly after a particular screen size. What we develop first for is a laptop screen. And Adelaja, are you the only one that can't hear me? Sorry, please confirm. All right. So you can't build for a you can't be building responsive design and put your mobile screen ahead
Hello, sir. I
of.
can hear you now, sir.
All right. You can't put your mobile screen ahead of your tablet screen. It's going to work, but you would have complications, because by the time it's going to work on a local machine, but by the time you're hosting it on a server, or you're hosting it on an external device, which is some of the issues that some of you are having with the tax. That okay, what you have on your VS Code is different from what you are seeing on Code Sandbox. It's just because that there's a compiler going on, and your compiler will read your code line by line. And if it's seeing a smaller screen ahead of a desktop screen, it's going to apply that size. But by the time you are going to a smaller screen, it's is going to now the style that is not going to be affecting your smaller screen is not going to be the style for the tablet screen. Do you understand? Do you guys understand? So you know the way to follow when you're trying to assign your media query. So the first thing we are looking at here is a tablet screen. Damlola, go ahead.
So I just want to confirm. So you advise us to do it like in a descending order.
Yes, in a descending order. Yes, a descending order is the perfect way to do it. So from the tablet screen, from the laptop screen to the tablet screen to the mobile screen, that is how you go down. Exactly, Damilola. Thank you for chipping that in. Yeah, Genevieve, go ahead, please.
Sorry, good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
Sir, please, I don't know if I've missed any classes because this upper side, I don't know when it was treated.
No,
And
I didn't.
joining on.
I didn't. No, the code that is written here, I've written the code before the class. We are talking about media query, so I'm focusing more on media query, not writing the code. I will spend, if I want to start writing all this, I will spend long hours trying to figure this out. So I've written for the tablet for the laptop screen before coming to the class. So the next thing I'm just going to do is focus on the mobile responsiveness, which is what we have in this class. Yeah, so now let's go to our design. Yeah, now let's go to our design and see what we can change. So now to work with responsiveness, you have to always use this. You have to use your developer tool most of the time. So let's go to 7. What screen size are we targeting? 778 68 pixel. So we don't have any working design, so we are just going to use our intuition to solve most of this. So you can see that on a mobile device, some of our elements on a tablet screen, some of our elements are still looking good. Um, this is going to be interactive now. You're going to tell me what to change at a particular position. I hope you guys understand. Okay, so let's check this design. On a tablet screen, what do you think I can change? What are the things I have to change? So let us talk. Um, just unmute and just raise up your hand so I can so I can so I can so it doesn't get rowdy. Yeah, so who wants to speak? We'll walk through the design from this point so we can see what we are going to change at every point. Yeah, so Adilaja, go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, sir, we'll change the position of the logo to the far left. Then we'll change the position of the hamburger menu to also to the far right.
Do you know
Then,
that? Okay, wait. Let me just tell you why we are not going to change the position of the logo.
okay.
Because one, the reason is that this logo now, the way it is, I am using a flex and a position space around, a justified content space around. So on every device, there's going to be a space around it. So me now trying to move it, the normal way it's supposed to be for the logo is that there's the hamburger menu is not supposed to be there on a larger screen. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to go through that because I have to write some JavaScript to toggle it open and close. So I don't want to go through that. That's why I just did that. So let's leave the
Okay.
logo out of it. Yeah. So let's focus on other things.
Okay. So for this second section, they are supposed to be aligned.
Okay.
They are supposed to be aligned vertically, like in the
Why should it
middle.
be? Why
It
should
should be
it should be aligned? Adilaja, I can't hear you again.
yes, readable like this because there's an overflow. So since we are doing it on this tablet screen, everything have to be inside the total width, but it should be aligned vertically to the center.
Okay, all right. That's second section alignment to the center.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So Josephine, okay, Josephine, what else should we change?
Okay, he has talked about the second section, right?
Yeah.
Okay, like this third section, I noticed that the image, I don't go up, you notice that this image is overflowing out,
Okay.
except maybe it's in line with, I don't know if all the images has to be on the same line.
Okay.
If the images have to start from, like the way if you move up, you notice that this image is a bit outward, then that other
Yeah.
one is a bit inside. So if, for instance, that everything have to be on the same line, we have to reduce the size of this image a bit. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right. I've noted that down. Okay. Image change, image reduce of image size. Um, ID, go ahead.
Hello, good morning,
Yeah,
everyone.
good morning.
Yeah, I will start from the hero picture, and I think the hero picture. I think I've also seen another big image at the end. I think what I have observed, and I think with my little experience, I've noticed that the images actually plays a big role, especially these large images. If you don't use if you don't use percentages for them, it will cause somehow like an overflow.
Yeah.
So I think what I need to do is to make sure that these hero pages, these hero images, we are using percentages, maybe 100%, and maybe that for the width, and maybe 100% view height for it. Then if you look at this third section, this one here, it depends whether we are using, if we are using a flex or maybe a grid. Maybe in this section we can look at maybe one image, one stacked above the other. So the first one will be up. That is my planning ahead. By planning ahead, you can save yourself some, save yourself from feeling stressed. So you can put that one above. Then maybe the next one is need help right away. So you can put that one underneath. But I think the first thing that we need to start with will be targeting these larger images. If we can use percentages for them, then you now know, you get a better view of everything aligning, then you can start arranging. But I know that as time, apart from the images, as the screen reduces, one of the things that in media query that will need to be changing their figures will be mostly
All right. I have
the
noted. I have noted all
the
that
fonts,
down.
the fonts, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Hilary, go ahead. Hilary, go ahead. Yes, Sirat, go ahead.
Yes, this fourth one here, I think we should not use flex, and we should not use flex. It should be in block.
Okay. Why do you want us to use block, not flex?
Because the image, when you the one you showed, the fourth section that you showed now, that's what I'm talking
Fourth
about.
one. This section, right?
This section, best quality. It seems they are using flex, and when they are using flex, they use absolute. So this best quality is coming between the image. So if you use block, the picture will be up and best quality will be down, like that.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
And
Don't worry. Let's
our
get into the
services.
design and let's start manipulating it so that we'll see some of those things. Yeah. So let's get into the design. So at this point, I would have to duplicate my screen so I can always see my HTML and my CSS. Okay, so let me open my HTML on this right hand side. So we, for me, for me, if I'm to look at this, if I'm to look at this on a desktop screen, on a tablet screen, actually, um, the hero section, there's nothing to change actually because it fits perfectly well. I can say where the issues are starting to set in are from this second section. And the reason why is that you can see that this our services is kind of aligned to the left instead of it to be aligned to the center on a tablet screen. So that is one thing we are going to look at. And also, you can see that there is no space between the right hand side and the left hand side of the screen. So that is for this section, that is something we are going to fix. So let's check. Let me go to where that particular element is, and we now sort it out. So now we have this about us section. So let me check the style I have. Let me search for it. Let me search for this about us section. Control F. Let me just let me just copy it so I would know the particular style I have on the top level that I've used previously. Control F, Control V. About us section. You can see that I have what I did before was about us. I gave it a a background color. There's nothing to do with, okay, the first thing I'm going to target right there is the padding. There should be a padding. There should be a padding. There should be a padding on the left and right side. So that's dot about section padding. Let's give it 5 pixel. Let's see. You can see that it's shrinking a bit. So let me give it 10. Let me give it 10 pixel. Let me give it 10 pixels so that we can see the space on the right and on the left. So there's a space on the right side and on the left hand side. And this is how you can debug in CSS. When CSS, the simplest way to debug is just giving it something like this. You do a border 1 pixel solid red. So you can know the particular element you're targeting. So you would see that by doing so, you will see that, okay, the element you're actually targeting is this particular section, which is what we are styling. So we want to style this particular section. So let's now reduce. We have given it a padding already. So what's the next thing we want to target inside? Let's see what we have about the section about. Section dash about. Section dash about. You can see we have a flex column. We have a margin auto 0. Okay, H5. Okay. Now let's change this also. Control C. Let's go back down. So this is one reason why Damilola, you can see that we're having an issue here now. I have to scroll to the top to see the different size I have of what I have styled before, and now come down again. So if you want to now style use your HTML, you want to write the whole code of your HTML, it's not going to be easy for you to be scrolling. It's going to be easy for your HTML, but for your CSS now, you can see now that I have written the style for my desktop screen first. Now I want to change the style I have. I want to change the style I have for my laptop screen, and I have to go to the top. I have to scroll to the top and now come back so that I don't change what I have previously. Okay, why using pixel on the media query instead of rem? I want to show you the different ways. You can either use pixel. You know I'm using pixel from the beginning. You know I have it scattered all around here. I have pixel, I have rem. So I want to use pixel. What I used in a particular place, I want to follow that pattern. So I can always change. So I don't confuse you. Not be like you use rem in this particular place and not using pixel right here. Paul, do you understand? Yeah, Josephine, go ahead. Unmute and speak, Josephine.
Okay, sir. If the way you are scrolling, sometimes you have code that's written in your CSS, it will be so long. So I want to ask, is it okay that the way you wrote this your media query, can you just write it just immediately after that about section? You just do all what you want to do there. Because I think going up and sometimes it will be stressful and going up and down. Can we just do it in that, just immediately after that place, we wrote the desktop, do it under the one for the desktop and put the media query there? Is it okay? Is it best practice?
It's not a good practice actually, because I mentioned earlier that your code is read line by line. So it's just a good practice that a style for a particular element. I know I've seen it in some code base that after they have styled some section, after they have styled like the arrow section, they just put their media query right below it. On the long run, it's going to confuse you because you will get tired and you become frustrated. That is why it's good that at every position, okay, you want to style your upper image, you want to write the first of all write the style for your for your laptop screen. Then now write in descending order so you don't confuse it. So that if now you want to come back to your code later on in the future, the next thing you just okay, I am down right below on line 105. That's why it's also good. I will just write some. Let me just write a comment here. Tablet screen. So this is also something. Tablet screen. This is also something so that if someone comes to my code base in the nearest future, they'll okay, this is where the tablet screen is starting from. Hope you understand, Josephine.
Yes, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. So if it was on a normal, if it was normally, I will just be styling. If it was normally, if I wanted to write it, I will have just the way I've styled that section, I'll have written my media query right down here. So that as I'm styling the laptop section, I am styling the tablet section immediately, and I'm styling the mobile section immediately, so that I know that everything is in sync. So I don't need to be scrolling up and down over every screen size. Steven, are you lost? If you are lost, kindly let us find you, please. I think with this you have missed with your question, you have missed some crucial explanation at the beginning. Probably you just have to go back to the YouTube video and understand it better. So let's now continue. So what I have missed what I wanted to style earlier when those questions came in. So some of the things I want to style is I want to give it a okay, I was giving it a padding right here. So let me give it 30 pixels to see. So you can see now my element are shrinked, and the next thing I want to style is this H5. The padding at the top is too much. So let me reduce the padding. Let me give it a 10 pixel top and bottom. So I know that the left and right is 30 pixel. Majorly responsiveness, what you are just working on responsiveness is your margin, the right and the left hand side. That is basically what responsiveness is all about. So let me style the H5. Let me go to section. Let me search for this section. Section dash about. Okay. H5. Okay, this was what I wanted to style. The H5.
Sorry, sir. Search on your.
Yeah, who is that? Who was that? Oh, okay, that was my mistake there. So let's go back to the down part and style that the H5. So we are removing all this. Let's do text align center. I'm doubting if this is going to work. Oh, Damilola, go ahead.
Sorry, sir. What is that control that you use to search for those?
Control F. Just
All right. All right.
yeah. So who can tell me why this is not working? Who can tell me why this is not working? You can see I did an align text center, but it's not working. Who can tell me why? Can anyone just look at my code and tell me why? Let me go to the upper section where I have this. So who can tell me why browse section? Who can tell me why it's not working? Can anyone check it out?
Also,
Yeah, go ahead.
Imagine.
I think it's the margin. The margin to you set the margin from I think left to 130 pixel, or I think
Okay.
490. I think that's the issue there. The margin is actually giving you the problem.
So you can see now that some of the things you are doing actually on the laptop screen actually affects everything on your device. Can you see now? Once I remove that, and I didn't even notice it when I was writing the code at first. I didn't notice it when I gave it a margin then. So now you can see that it affected even my style right here. So that has gone. So I think we have fixed that already. So the next one, what is the next thing? We still have to give it a margin top, a margin to the top. So let's come right here. Let's come right here and give it a margin top. No, let's give this. Where did we remove the margin from the other time? Where was the margin? Okay,
Here's
H5.
5. Here's 5.
Okay. All right. So let's remove the margin. So what we are going to do basically is that we would give the about us section, this section about, a padding inside inside it. So let's give this about section a padding. Let's give it a padding of 50 pixels. Let's see. Damblala, go ahead.
I just want to ask, so this one we are removing the margin, will it affect the web
Laptop screen. Look at the laptop screen now.
all right.
It's actually perfect on a laptop screen. Yeah, so some of the things now you can now, this is another way to debug. Now, we don't want to be going back and forth. You can just select the element right here. You come here, which is this section. So that is the about us section. Once you click on it, you would see, you can see that we have this section here now. You can see this p tag is extended. So you can see the styles. Once you click on these styles here, right here, you can see that I have, there's no style for it. You can see I have this element right here. You can see I have a width of 780 pixels. So by the time I remove that width, everything goes away. Who understand what I just did right here? Damblala, do you still have a question? Damblala?
No. You were inspecting it.
Yeah, so this is another way to see a perfect way to style your elements, though. So now we can see that this element is kind of moved to the top. So let's now find where it is. That's the about us section. You can see the height. Let's remove the height. You can see some of the things I did at the beginning of my code is some of the things that is giving me issue. You can see that on this about us section, no, this section about, I have an height of 575, 536 pixel, and actually it's actually affecting our height right on a mobile screen because everything seems to be jumped up. Everything seems to be jumped up. So we have to reduce the height we have right here. So I'll go to my VS Code now and target that section and reduce the mean height. So I think that's how we'll be getting the classes instead of going to the top about section. Is it about, okay, dash about section mean height? I'll reduce it to 200 pixels. So let's see the height that we have. So this has to come in front of it. I don't know. So I made a mistake. It should not be on the about us section. It should actually be on the about. It should actually be on the about section dot section about. So that's some confusion that can happen. So let me just put it right back here. So let's check it. So you can see now that on this particular screen size, it has reduced. So let's check what we have again. We have a display flex column, which is perfect. We have to now give it a padding. You have to give it, let's check what we have on this paragraph. Let's check our paragraph. Our paragraph has a width, so we have to reduce the width of our paragraph. So I think that is fine. So let's go to the About Us P section. So one thing you can do is you can always copy your section right from here and just take it to your VS Code and style it. Oh, sorry. So let's style this right here. So the next thing we want to style is we want to reduce the width. What was the width we have there before? The width we had before was 780 pixel. We can give it 500 pixel. 500 pixel. Sorry, please, are you following? I don't know. Please, someone should unmute and speak.
Yeah, we are following, sir.
We are following, sir.
Is there any confusion? Are you understanding what I'm doing? So I'm not just running
Sir,
through the.
me, I'm a bit confused, sir.
Who is that?
Is Cecilia.
Okay, Cecilia, where are you confused?
My name is Cecilia.
Sir, please, I don't know if I'm kind of taking you backward, but I actually wanted to know how to do all these naming conventions. Like you're using minimum height now. When should we use it? Max height. I know there are some things like your even the way you name your class, dot about session, dot session about, like, and then your measurement. I don't know. I actually joined the class late. Probably you've treated it. I don't know, but it's a kind of confusing me, honestly.
Oh, all right. For my class naming convention, it's just based on personal preference. So what I did for my class naming convention is just that, okay, this is the About Us section. So I gave it About section. I can name it goat. I can name it anything. It's my own, but for readability's sake, so I can always come back to it again and be like, okay, I want to style this section. I can always remember what I have there. That is why I gave it. So I named it the About Us section. That's the particular name of the class, actually. And for this mean height, if you joined early enough, you will see that I was explaining something earlier that for you to be able to follow through, for you to be able to make responsive design, you have to make use of mean height and mean width. Mean height and mean width, so that it's going to be responsive on all. It's going to be relative to the screen size when you are working. So that is why I have a mean height here. I'm using a width. So now I'm telling this element that when my screen size is I'm just giving this I gave it a width of 500 pixel. Okay, it's going to be on a light screen. And if I okay, let's check this out. Let's now most of let's check this out. Let's check it on a laptop screen. You can see on a laptop screen, I gave this height. Okay, let me remove this height on a laptop screen. Come in, let me search for this About Us section. Where is it? Uh, the reason I gave it a mean height of this on a desktop screen was to increase the height so that it's not going to be squeezed together. So let's see. You can see now this is the definite height. This is 200 pixel because I am giving it a 200 pixel on. I think when I checked this out, the design I actually used to develop it was there was a large space, and I can't expect it. That's why I gave it a width of 500 pixel. That's why I give it a width of 500 pixel right there. So it's just some convention. Now there's no design we are working with, so we are just trying to figure out how best it should look on a mobile screen. Um, Wisdom, do you understand now? Your question. I'm just it was just a design I just picked on Google. So at this point, application, if you are working on a team, a UI UX designer will have designed the mobile screen. A UI UX designer will have designed the mobile screen so that you don't have to begin to think which one is going to be the perfect view, which one is not going to be the perfect view. Wisdom, do you understand? Can anyone hear me at all?
Yes, sir. Is Cecilia that asked the question? I do now. Thank you.
Oh, all right. Davison, your hand is raised. You have a question. Please go ahead.
Good morning, sir. So my question is on
Yeah.
the media query section. I don't know if you can scroll down. You can just scroll down.
Okay.
This aspect in this particular class, this dot about section and section about. Do we have to keep doing it this? Why didn't you just put the minimum height, text align, and width as one? Since they are all the same class, do we have to do it this way you did it? That's my question.
If you look at it now, I have inside the About Us section. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see
Davison,
it.
can you see? Okay, now you can see that right here I have About Us. I have About Us section. I have section About. So now the About Us section is the container holding everything all together. Is the div holding everything all together on line 45. That is, if you can see my HTML, is what is holding everything all together. So now I have section About. Section About is inside About Us section. So I am targeting the About section, but the element I want, if I remove this now, it's still going to work. It's still going to work perfectly fine. Look at it. Let me reduce. If I do that, it's still going to work fine. It's still going to work fine. Can you see that, Davison? But I want you to understand my naming convention properly, so that you would not see that you have about section. Why you're now styling this section about differently? So I'm trying to, okay, from inside the About Us section, I am navigating into section About. Do you understand, Davison?
Yes, I get your point.
So if you are still confused, so if even if I style it, I don't know if I'm probably using section About in another place in my code. I don't think so, but that is why I just styled it like that. So it's just a naming convention. But if you name it, if you are just using that particular class in a particular place, it doesn't matter actually. So can I go ahead, Davison? Are you clear now?
Yes, I'm clear. You can go on.
So I think we are good with this section, right? Can anyone? Is there still anything we need to fix on this section?
Assuming that there should be that
Can someone in
should be,
this second section? Can someone?
uh, I don't know, this our
There should be a
service and
padding, a margin at the.
yes, a pad is a padding up to bring it to the middle.
Okay,
Kind of.
let me inspect. Let me. Uh, that is our service. Let me check. Let me give it a margin top or a padding. Let me give it a padding. Padding top of, let's do 20 pixel. Is it okay like this, Damilola?
Yes, sir.
It's okay. So you are the ones telling me the design I'm going to make for this. So we are just doing try and error because you don't have any working design. But when you are going to work on responsiveness on your next task, I'll give you a design to work with. Don't worry. You're not going to be doing try and error. So right on About Us section right here, we have a padding top of 20 pixel. So I should also give the, okay, I've done that already. So let's see what we have. Is everything here is in order? Rahim, you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, my question is about the about section. please, can we go back to that code?
Okay. Yeah, so this is the style we have for the about us section.
No, the HTML. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that the about section, the parent class has only one child, which is section about. And even if you notice the second class also need help, also has only one class. Does it not looking like we are just duplicating the div? Why can't we just use one and because of complicity? That's just,
No, we are not. We
I
are
don't
not
know, maybe there
duplicating the.
is kind of,
We are not duplicating
no,
the
what I'm
div
saying
actually
is,
because now I understand your question that I have an about us section. I have a section about, and I have a line. I now have my code written.
yeah, hello?
Sorry, I
I don't
can't hear
know.
you.
Is it just me?
We can't hear you. Oh,
Okay, guys, network is very bad today. So hopefully he will be back on the call. So let's just wait.
thank you.
Yeah, sorry guys, my network went off again. I don't know what's wrong with MTN. Please confirm you can hear me now.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes,
We can hear you,
yes.
sir. Can hear you.
So sorry for the mix up right there. MTN is just acting up today. So, Raheem, you asked a question.
Yes, 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 boss.
Okay, your question was why do I have about section about? It's just a naming convention so that I know that I would give what I want to do is if you can see now, I have this about section. I gave it a background color. I gave it a background color right here. I gave it a background color of white. You can see now, if you check, if you look at my styling, you can see that the about section, that's where I just defined the text align, the background color and all. I don't want everything to be all encompassing inside the section about, so I don't have too much time inside that particular place. That is why I scattered. That's why I destructured it like that. Let me just use the word destructure. So now on the about section, I just gave it. I gave it the default color and the background color of the element. So on the section about, if you see the section about now, you can see that is where I now define my flex element on. I can actually do it on one container, but the style in there is going to be too much. And by the time I want to do the responsiveness, it will actually give me issues. So I don't. That's why it's easy. That's why it's good of good practice that you write smaller chunk of CSS inside a particular div. So when you want to style them, you know the particular element you are going to style. Do you understand, Rahim?
Yeah, it's clear, sir. It's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's not like duplication. It's just so that I have smaller chunks of code in different places in my CSS. Yeah, Josephine, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I noticed that you in some places you use mean height. Then when you wanted to do the width, you did not use mean width.
Yeah.
And
No, the
you said
reason, yeah, the reason I did that was because on a laptop screen, on a big screen, I want it to be of that particular, that the mean height on a particular screen. But on this particular on a particular screen rather, I want the width to be of that particular width. But on this particular, I'm defining the width for this particular element. I'm defining the width for this particular element I would so that I would just define I'm just defining the width for this particular. So I don't need to have a max width. I can use a max width, but I don't want to use a max width for it. I just want, okay, this particular element at this, just let the width just be this. I can change it to max width. It's going to work. It's just based on personal preference. Do you understand, Josephine?
if you use mass width, does it mean that it will be like you were saying that when we want to do responsiveness, we should always focus on using a relative unit. So something that when you go to another screen, it will be able
Yeah.
to be flexible.
If you check my parent container, you see I'm using a max width. And when I'm now coming down to a smaller, I can also, let me use a max width. Okay, let me not confuse you. Let me just use a max width right there. So I don't, where is it? Let me just use a max width. So it's still going to fall on the same. It's still going to be the same thing. So it's still the same thing. Josephine, do you see?
Okay.
So it's still the same thing. Rahim, I think you have asked the question. Kindly put your hand down. Yeah, Paul, you have a question.
Yes, I have a question, please. I want to ask about that about section. Actually, inside the about section, I think you give it an FEFE or a different color background, right? The
Where?
background color of the about section is different from the next section, right?
Yes.
Okay, then now inside the about section, you have section about that you display flex, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask, do you mean that you display flex on the H1, H5, and the H1, and also the paragraph and the anchor element there? So I want to ask, what was the need for the flex? Was it to allow you, or is necessary when you want to do media query?
No, the reason why you can see that I'm not even touching the flex I gave it on this next section. Reason for that, I'm trying to go to the top where I have the element. Where is it? You can see now. Let's comment this out. Let's comment this out and see what we have. You can see.
Okay.
I'm just trying to, I don't want to be using margin and padding all around. That's why I'm using a flex. But if I use a flex, everything is going to it's still, if I don't use a flex, it's still going to be column. But I don't want to use a margin. I don't want to be setting margin and padding. So I just use my flex right here. So the flex element I give it, you can see I gave it a margin top and bottom 0. So it's my own personal preference. You can actually use this is my own preferential way of styling.
Okay.
So it's not compulsory to do it the same way I'm doing it. It's just okay. This is the way I like to use flex a lot. So when I want to style some other element, I know that okay, I will just change the direction. So if probably this was a column, probably if it was a row on a large screen and I want to change it to a column on a small screen, I will just change the flex direction instead of me trying to use margin and padding. Do you understand, Paul?
Yeah, I understand, but one question is that automatically it's a default, let me say, padding with flex. Like, does flex have a default kind of amount of
No,
space?
flex, you can see now I have a padding right here. I still have a padding right up here. I think I still have a padding somewhere around here that is giving that space. I think most of what you are saying is from my laptop screen. So I would just have to check through. I was just writing the code. I was just focused more on the media query. So it's
Okay.
one of those things. Yeah. But let's continue. If you are not clear, I would always go back to explain it. As I told you, me using flex is just my normal way of just trying to do things, not a kind of not a not an industry standard. It's just okay. I've chosen this way of doing things. Of okay, just use flex and try to make everything align properly in case I want to change the elements. Do you understand, Paul?
Yes, I understand. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let's go to the next section. This next section now is this help section. So let's select the element to see what we have. So on this section, we have a mean height of, let's comment this out. Let's start with the mean height. Let's justify content center. Let's remove the flex. So some of the things we have to change right here is, let's remove the padding. So on this screen, what do you think you can change? Let's reduce this. Let's return this back again. So what do you think you have to change here? We have to make it a grid. Like I said, a grid. We have to change it from a column from a row to a flex. Oh, someone should speak now. I don't want to say anything. Someone should unmute and speak. Let's remove this background color solid from here. So let's put it. Someone should tell me what we should do right here. Someone should tell me what you're going to do.
So that was what you said, and I said that it depends on what you want. If because I don't know, if for me I would say let us put the images, it should be like 2 sections. This thing should be 2 sections. If this image and this writing by planning should be on one side, then this need help right away and this other image should be on one side. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know if that's what the design wants, what they want for the design. Or maybe they should do.
Like I said, there's no design actually. We are just working with as the spirit leads. So it's just a design outside there. We are the one that is going to design into what we want.
Okay.
Ezekiel, go
Hello,
ahead.
hello.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, I would prefer we try to use this display flex as used before. Display flex to make it like in a column way, arranged like this, but we should reduce the padding by the left side. So the image and the text will come like in the middle so that we can view the second image at the bottom there. So that to be positioned like in a center format. And we try to align it, the image and the text,
to be like at the same height so that it will be
Okay.
visible. Yeah.
All right. So let's check this need help. What we have right here is we have a mean height, which is okay. We have display flex. We have our display flex, which is something we have normally. So we'll just change the flex direction from, let's go ahead. Okay, they need help. So let's copy this out. Control C. Let's go to this place. Control V. So let's do our normal debugging in CSS. Border 1 pixel solid red. Let's use red so we can see what we are doing. So the first thing we have to do is we have to change the flex direction to flex direction row, flex direction column rather, flex direction column. So let's see. So you can see now that everything is now aligned to the center. So we have to reduce the padding. Let's reduce the padding. Someone mentioned, and that's 50 pixel.
No, facing.
Yeah, 50 pixel. So let's do this. Let's check it out. So is 50 pixel okay, or we reduce it more? Should we reduce it more? Nobody is saying anything. Should we reduce it more?
I think you should reduce it more so that you have it's not looking like bold enough because it's going to be on a screen like.
Well, the idea on a smaller screen is that you got the idea on a smaller screen that it is small, so it doesn't take up too much width. That's the idea for a smaller screen actually. Do you understand? And I think one other thing we need to change here actually is the we have to reduce the size of this image. We have to reduce the size of this image. What's the size of this first image? Let's see. If we give this image, Francisco, please let me mute that person. Francisca, are you there? Yeah, so I think one of the things we have to do is, first of all, we have to reduce the image of the second element so that one is not bigger than the other. That's one thing we have to look at here. Does everyone agree with me? Because if we are actually reducing the padding on the left and right, this image will become smaller, while this other one down here will still be extremely big. So it doesn't look well on a smaller screen. Do we understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we understand, sir.
Okay. So if you have a contrary opinion, you can let me know. So is that's how we work right here. Is there a contrary opinion? Should we leave it like that, or we should just reduce the size of the image?
Let's reduce the size now.
All right. So I didn't give it a class first
But
of
sir, I
all,
have a
so I have to give it.
question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
The size of the image on the first one is different from the one down. So are you going to give it an exact size of image for the first and the second one?
Well, the image I'm actually using is the way I downloaded the image. Is the images I downloaded actually. So one is just bigger than the other, which is something that happens sometimes. So I just wanted to have a working design, so I just downloaded different image. So you can see the image is just from, I think it's billions photo. So let me just use, so the design is going to change on a larger screen. So let me just use the same image for it. So we have the same image right there. But when you will be working on your own design, you would have a working design. So let's check this out. So why is it still big? I'm coming. Let me check something. Is there a width? Is there a width for this second element? Plus 2. Yeah, this is this y. What's going on here actually? I'm not increasing the height. Wait, I'm not giving it a height, but it keeps occupying the width to the right hand side. Or let's debug it together. Okay, that is it. This is the first element right here. You guys should work with me so that I'm not the only one just figuring it out. So we have this, and when we have that, we have need help, then we have help, then we have a flex, we have a border, no, justify content center, no. You just select, once you open your Google Developer tool, it is this. You can see this small box right at the top corner here. Just click on it and you'll be able to inspect your elements one after the other. So let me give this image a size, width of, let me give it 20%. Let's see. Okay, 20%, reduce it more. Let's see 50% or 200%. 200. 200% increases it more than the width. Let's give it 100%. Yeah, so I think we have a working design now. I'll give that one a width. Let me give it a width down here of 200. Let me give it a class name. So
Image one.
let me come here and give. No, it's image 2. It's not image 1. Image 1 is perfect actually. Image 2 is where the issue is coming from. That's image 2. Width. What width did I give it right here? I gave it a width of 100%. Width 100%. So let's check it out. So everything is in order right here. So another thing we have to reduce, you can see that need a help call now is actually breaking. So we have to reduce the font size. So let's reduce the font size. That is this. Let's reduce the font size. Josephine, I will kick you out of this call. Why are you writing on my screen? So let's reduce the font size. The font size before was 2.75 rem. Let's give it a 1 rem. So let's see. Okay, 1 rem. Let's now do text align center. Let's give it a text align. Let's put it to the center and see. So I think this is perfect. Let's do the same for the colors now. Okay, font size. Also give it font size of 1 rem. Give it a font size of 1 rem. I keep mentioning this that we don't have a working design. We are just freestyling with whatsoever we have. So that is why I'm just trying to inspect the elements, but in most cases you would get a working design from a UI UX designer, and every task I'm going to give you to work on responsiveness, I would give you a design for that. 1 rem. Do you understand? Uh, does anyone have any question? Hello? Is there any question? Let's talk about
Yes,
it so that
good
we don't.
afternoon, sir. Like this section that you just did the media query. I'm thinking the text is
Yeah.
looking awkward, kinda like can the text be spread like the width? Maybe we should give it more width so that the text can be spread and not looking like this.
Okay. Or we can actually do something else also. Let's check this. Let's check L2. Okay, let's give it a width. That's going to come from this part. So let's reduce this padding. So where is it? Coming, just a section. Coming, just a L. So that's going to come from the parent container. So where is the parent container? Parent container is this, and let's reduce it. Is it okay like this? Who asked that question? Is it not Taufik? Taufika? Huh?
Yes, I'm the one. I did not know I already muted myself. I said it's better.
Is it not like it's better? So
Yes,
you just it was the padding we gave it, so I just reduce the padding to 9 pixel. I just reduce it to 9 pixel. So we have something to work with. And also this one takes a line to the center. Takes a line to the center. Please mute your mic, Taufika. Taufika rather. So does this look okay? You guys should comment and let's see if this is actually okay or we need to add something more to it. Oh, Steven, go ahead.
Yes, sir. In this, please go back to your code. It's I think in this in line 63, you
Yeah?
without in line 63, you without a div, you give it a class. Yeah, image 2. Is that proper? Yeah,
Yeah.
by the side, line 63. As
Line
it,
63.
okay, oh, 80. Sorry.
And now you can
And now
style
you can
your
style
image.
your image.
And
And
I'm
you,
hearing a back.
I'm hearing a back.
I'm hearing my
I'm
voice again.
hearing my voice.
Steven, kindly mute your
Steven,
mic.
kindly
I
mute
can.
your mic. I can.
I can. Are you using two devices? So one thing is, I actually wanted to style the images separately. That's why I give it a class name of image 2. You can style an image separately from the original width it has. Do you understand now, Steven? What I just did for this one is is on the image directly I gave that class. So every style I'm going to be giving it is going to be particularly on this image. Steven, do you
Do you
understand?
understand? Yes, thank you. Thank you. I understand.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so
any other person having a question or a clarification before we move to the next section? Who is that? Someone hand his wrist. Just unmute and speak. I can't see who is that.
Okay. I noticed that the image is not the same, but before it was different.
Yeah, I actually reduced the size of the second image. I actually reduced the size of the second image so that both of them will fit properly. I think I see where the issue for this particular one is coming from because I was giving it a padding left of 30 pixel. That was why it was moving to the left the other time. So let's remove this. Let's check this out. Comment. Let's do this. Let me comment out this image too and see if that is where the error is coming from. Yeah, you can see now I didn't need to. I will just remove the padding left. I'm just going to remove the padding left from the image itself. So let me check. I'm doing something for image one. I'm not doing for image two. Yeah, so I'm just going to remove the padding left, which I have here, so that everything will be properly aligned. So let me just copy this image two padding left 0 help 2 dot help dash 2 padding left 0. So someone was saying something in the chat box. What's that? You suggest that the second image should be removed. Why, Samuel? Can you unmute and tell me the reason why you want your second image to be removed? Samuel. Yeah, go ahead.
Good day, sir. I just suggest that the second image should be removed just for the design to look more palatable, to look good.
Okay, so
Well,
suggesting we add the second image.
yeah, but at first, I actually would have preferred if these two boxes inside this help container was given a column reverse for this second box to be on top, so that this
Okay, so
need,
that the image here will be at the top
yeah,
and the
so that
text
this
will be
need help right now and the number will be on top, and it will be giving them a font weight and font size, yeah. So that's why I actually suggested earlier, but I think you didn't see the message I dropped.
oh, so sorry about that. Let's see what we have right here. That means you have to give our help class 2 a flex. So now let's do that. Let's do a display flex. So let's check it out. So something like this, right? Samuel, something like this.
No, no, sir. I mean, the main container that houses the
Yeah.
two boxes should be given a column reverse.
You should give him a column reverse.
Yeah.
Okay. Column reverse.
Yeah, that one should be given a column reverse.
Something like this.
Yes, something like
I
that.
mean,
But now the image on top should be removed. Okay, wait. You should remove the help two column reverse. The recent column reverse you added in the help two or something. I think yeah, that one.
okay. So walk me through something like this.
Yes,
Okay,
something
and
like
one of the images should now go away.
yeah,
One of the
it should
images
go
should now
away.
go away.
The second image should go away.
All right. So that means our image 2 should be
Display
hidden.
none.
Display none. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I actually like that idea actually. So we just have one. It's just as if one image is calling both. One image is assigned
Yeah,
to the both text is assigned to one image.
yeah.
What are you showing?
Nice.
Well, what's going on? Comment. Why are you image 2? What's going on here? Why not save? Display none. That's right. So why are you not showing? Okay, I know why. Let me break this. Dot L dash 2 image Okay, so it's out of the way now.
Yes, yes, this is better. Then you give it a they help noun and the contact with the number, the font size and font weight.
Okay, I should
Then that'll be
increase
okay.
the font size.
Size and the
I should
font
now
weight.
increase the font size. Huh? That's L2, H3. Let's give it a two, font size of 2, right? And this one also 2, right? Is this okay? Or
Yes,
doesn't it look too big?
yeah, it looks too big. Yeah, it looks too big.
On the second one, I will just reduce it. I'll give it 1.7. Let's give the other one 1.7, right?
Yes.
Does this look okay?
Yes, it do. It does. It does.
All right, so let's go back to this next section. Let's check our time. Yeah, so should I give you these guys this task to complete the responsiveness? Just to freestyle with it.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay, so but Genevieve, why are you saying no? Genevieve, why are you saying
Stop.
no?
Please, I need to take time to understand it because it's confusing me.
It's confusing. It's not a promotional tax now. It's just to keep you guys busy. Pending the time the next task comes on board.
Okay, sir. So we are not submitting it.
Yeah, I'm going to submit it, but just submit it. I'll just probably it's going to be a Google sheet to submit it. Oh, okay. It's not compulsory though, but you can always do it. Before we go, let's just fix this second section. Before we go, let's fix this second section. The best quality. All right, Francisco. All right. So let's check best quality. We have a background image. Let's do this. So do flex direction. So text column. Let's check this. Let's now go to best quality. Yeah, I'll definitely give you the source code. I'll definitely give you the source code. So let's go to the best quality, and let's just do this one last thing before we go. Next direction column. Next direction column. So let's check what we have. You can see we have actually reduced it. So what is the next thing we have to do? We have to reduce the width and the height. Let me see. The width and the height of something. Wait, we have done that. So let's check this image. So yeah, so I'm trying to reduce this image. It seems too big. The image seems too big. So the image seems too big. So I'm trying to just figure out the best way to reduce it. So we have something to work with. Why is this? Why are we still having this overflow right here? Okay, coming from this section. So we have this. Well, let me give you guys this to figure out. So um you can always just try out. There's no wrong idea to responsiveness. The best thing you just have to do is just make it responsive and visible on every small screen size. Does anyone have any question? Francisca, go ahead.
Okay, sir. If you remember that image, the one that has those two images that we had to remove one.
Yeah.
So in responsive designs, do you have to like remove some things in the design because you're trying to
Yes,
make it?
definitely. Yes, definitely. There are some things that have to go on a smaller screen. Definitely. That's how it is. Some things are not just necessarily on a small screen because it's going to occupy so much space. So you just have to take it out entirely. That's why.
So
So
something like
it's a
that
good.
different image can also be removed totally.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. All right, sir.
Yeah. Something. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I just want to ask, while you at the beginning of the class, I saw where you were trying to select the screen for each device. I don't know if that was on your browser or I don't know where you got those percentages, the pixel for the screen sizes from, so
Yeah,
that
it's
we
on
can
my
use to
browser.
monitor whatever we are doing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just need.
it's on
Okay.
my browser actually. Once you open your Google Developer Tools, your console, once you go to Chrome and you open your console, you would see something like this. You would see something like this. Once you click on this, a square box with a small box inside, just click on it. Then your all this margin at the top here comes up. So you can see I have 768 pixel. I can go a little bit lower and I come back 768 pixel. Where are you? So you can see is from this particular side with this pixel up here. I'm using to select the screen size I want, which I'm actually using on my inside my which I'm actually used to target the particular screen size of 768 pixel. Or something. Do you understand?
Very well. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. So who else has a question? Hilary. Francisca, do you still have a question?
Sir, sorry, sir. Is that not mobile simulator? Is it a
No, that's
different?
not mobile. No, it's different from mobile stimulator. I'm not using a mobile stimulator for this. Mobile stimulator is an extension. Your Google Developer Tools comes with your browser. You don't need to download it. Just just inspect. Just right click and click on inspect on the options that is there, so you will see that. Hilary, go ahead. Hilary, go ahead if you can hear
Good
me.
day, sir. Yeah,
Yeah, good day.
can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I can
So I
hear you.
don't know. Yeah, I actually don't have a question because I'm actually lost, not even from this class. I'm trying to catch up myself. And it's weird. I don't know if there's a way, is it that I should go and watch other videos or like how can I cope? How can I catch up?
Okay. One of the things you can always do is you can always the videos are available on YouTube. You can always watch it, and if you have any question from any video, you can always come to the class and ask, or you drop it on the Discord channel. I would always respond, which I've always been doing. So that's just it.
Okay. All right, sir.
Yeah, if at any point you have any question, just drop it on the Discord channel. If it's something you cannot explain with word of mouth, with in text, you can always come on the call when next you have a class and you ask your question. I'll definitely explain. Yeah. So, Josephine, go ahead.
Okay, sir, thank you. So, sir, after you have finished this 768 piece this media query now,
Yeah.
you go and check another screen again, and you still write it. Maybe for I don't know what would be the name of the next. If it's not tablet, I don't know. You check it again.
Let's
I
check
will
it.
start. Okay.
The next screen after 768 pixel is 425 pixel. So I'll just come right here I'll come right here and just do the same thing. Let me just copy and paste. I'll just do this, Control C, Control V. What screen size did we select? Let me see. 425 pixel. Comment. 425 pixels. So we just do 425 pixel. And yes, there we have it. So just let me do body background color, aquamarine. So you can see, if I want to go to another screen size, which is 375, let's go to 375. Let's go to 375. Shift up down. I do 375, 375, and I do background color of red. So you can see that's how you go down and keep targeting every screen size. Do you understand now, Josephine?
So after this 375, I'm seeing other things there up all those ahead. What's the next one?
Yeah, there's still 320.
Okay, I will still go and do for that one too.
Yes, definitely.
I will finish all these things that you are clicking on this screen now. Finish everything. Yeah. I will say I'm done with the project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, kindly mute your mic. There is a background noise. So yeah. All right. So does anyone have any question? Hilary, do you still have a question?
No, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, sir, I didn't hear you.
Do you still have a question? Your hand was raised.
No. I've already said what I wanted to say. That I'm lost. I don't know how to catch up.
All right. Okay. Paul, go ahead.
Okay. I wanted to say the tags that you're about to give us. Many people, or maybe they are not on this call, and maybe some cannot even cope or cannot understand it. Although I don't understand everything 100%. But I'm just saying, is the tag going to have a expiration date to submit, or it's just a tag that
it's not a promotional tax. It's not a promotional tax. So you can always submit. So we just go when it's promotional tax are the tax you submit on LMS. Class tax are the ones you just do, which I give you a link to submit, or you submit it on a track channel, which I will just go through it. So there's no expiration date. There's no expiration date. Yeah, so I have to. Yeah, thank you very much for this class.
Have you given the tax already?
We would have another class on Friday, so let's do well to go ahead, go over the class. If you don't have any question, if you have a question and ask. So
sorry, sir. Hope we did